Welcome back, friends, to A Lawyer's Insights from Federal Prison, Day 6. Today, I'd like to celebrate the women in my life. I'm, starting to think about the fact that Women's History Month is coming up, and as I'm being invited to share my experience with women's groups kind of all over the world, I want to reflect on the power of my constellation of stars. So, when I was going through this, I really leaned on women and men, of course, but so many women in my life showed up for me, for long, serious conversations, for walks where I cried and cried and just, tried to figure out how I was going to get through this. Women that just always were there by my side, walking with me hand in hand, not passing judgment on me, and allowing me to just be my authentic self. And oftentimes we're so scared to have those courageous conversations and voice our fears, our challenges, our struggles. The women of my life have always shown up. And I really believe that we women lift each other up. And in Women's History Month, as we begin to think about how we can empower each other and lift each other up, I want to celebrate the women. But this also carried through with me when I was in prison. So even like a stranger who I had just met in prison, I was given the opportunity to, for example, I had a mom in prison. Her name is Patricia, and Patricia taught me how to crochet. She would leave little notes on my locker every other day or whenever she felt like it, with like a quote, and she would sign it, "Love, Mom." And we would sit together with my sister in prison. Her name was Shay, and we would sit and we would play board games and read magazines together and then go eat together and then watch, TV together. And we began to create this bond where we relied on each other. So when things felt dreary or one of us was sad about something, or we heard some bad news, from the outside from our families, we leaned on each other and supported each other. But also when I was in prison, one of my favorite things that would happen and like would make my day is in the evening would be mail call. And, the guard would come in holding a big box and he'd start going through the mail and there were packages and letters. And I had so many of my friends that would send me magazines and books and postcards and handwritten long, beautiful letters and packages. And I had like a group of my running friends that banded together. And every month they would send me something, all six of them together or seven, and sign a card together and send me a book. Or, one time it was a magazine that Supreme Court's most important decisions, and it was like bound. My friend Gloria would send me these handwritten letters and prod me to think about things that I probably wouldn't have otherwise thought about. My friend Eliza would send me postcards like weekly. Of course, my kids sent me regular things. My friend Becky actually kind of acted as a liaison between so many people that I couldn't have on my email list. And so people would email her and then she would email me, compile all of them into one email. So I had so many women supporting me when I was in prison from the outside. I always felt so much love, both from the inside and the outside. And as I've come home, whether it's colleagues, mentors, longtime friends, family, the women in my life have always been there for me. And I believe as women, we owe it to each other to continue to lift each other up, to challenge each other to be better, to speak up when things are hard, to not stay down on our knees when things become challenging, when we're going through struggle, but to really come together and talk about it. So thank you to all the women in my life. And as we approach Women's History Month, I celebrate all of you. Thank you so much. Please share, subscribe. I'm loving doing these. I hope you guys are enjoying. If you have any specific questions, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to answer questions that people have asked me or from stage or sometimes when I come off stage. But if you have any specific questions and you're curious about something during any phase of my experience, before prison, during prison, or after, please email me. Feel free to email me, shoot me a message, make a comment. I'd be happy to answer it. Thanks, guys.